All right, I'm looking at a Kenmore model 795-72043.316. It's a Kenmore Elite refrigerator, and we've had this error code ERRF, which indicates the refrigerator fan. Now yesterday, I thought it might have been the freezer, so I went in and did all the freezer and cleaned it out, and cleaned all the ice out. But this is behind here a condenser unit. So I've taken the screws out. Now if you look here, there are two screws here on the back, and there's another screw up here, and then there's another one down here that you have to take out. And I've got this little bar that's in the back. As you can see, the screws are just right there at the top, and then also at the bottom of this little unit. And there's one screw that holds this bracket on, there's another one that goes beneath it there, and again just this fourth screw. Now prior, I'd taken out the side panels and all the drawers and everything. And you can see here, this is the side panel. One goes over here, and there's just two screws here and here. Another one, this one has the selector on it as well, and it's got a little wire harness that you have to take apart there. But then there are two screws right here, you just unscrew those. Everything else just lifts out gently. Obviously, as you're doing your repair, try not to force anything from opening or closing or moving, so that once you're done, this is the actual refrigerator here, the Kenmore Elite. So it's the double door with the freezer option at the bottom. Okay, now once you've taken all the screws out and all the shelves out, you're gonna open this up, and all you have to do is you just pull down gently up here and pull it out, and then the whole thing will actually pull out like this. And as you can see behind here, we got a little bit of ice buildup. And also there is a wiring harness here, pretty simple to undo. These ones just have a little press tab. So there's a press tab here for one 4-point unit, there's a press tab here for the 2-point unit, and then this one here is a press tab on that big long one that goes there. So what I'm going to do is take a heat gun on a very low heat setting. You can also use a hair dryer if you want to defrost this ice block. And if you look here and you hear this fan, you can hear the ice, and there's ice buildup right down in the bottom right here that's preventing this fan from turning. Yep, I can feel the ice right down there. So that's, yeah, you hear that? Now if you keep your doors of your refrigerator closed when you're doing stuff, that'll prevent this from building up as fast. We've had this fridge about 2 years, and when we bought it from some friends, but it immediately, when we moved it, they didn't defrost it, and we had to defrost this once. It really took me about 20 minutes to get this apart. The hardest part is actually taking all the food out and getting it ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and defrost it, and we'll go from there. All right, now through the magic of the internet and a pause button, we've got the heat gun. This is just the Wagner, I don't know what model it is exactly, but it's a heat gun. And I'm gonna turn it on power, and I'm gonna turn it down to, whoops, hit the wrong button with one thumb. Power, and then I'm gonna go to the lowest heat setting that it has available, and I'm gonna put it on high. So that's the 250 to 350. Now I'm just gonna sit here and thaw this. Now if you try to chip this off with a knife, you can bend the coil and you'll end up buying a new refrigerator. So don't do that. This just takes a little bit of patience. And find you a good podcast or music to listen to while you're doing this. And eventually, all this will do. Now also down here on the bottom, I'm gonna go grab a towel so that it'll absorb all that water when it comes out. And then there's a hole down here that's the drain pan. We don't want all that water to go down there into the drain pan, so I'm gonna plug that up with a towel as well and absorb all the water with a towel. So gonna hit pause and I'll come back when we're done with that. Alright, I'm in here. I'm gonna try and concentrate my heat on the bottom of these. Not sure if it'll work, but we'll give it a shot. Hopefully that whole ice block on the top will just kind of pop off once I get it released from the bottom radiator fin. So I'll let you know how it goes. Been at it for about 3 minutes right now, and I'll come back once it's all done. Another point of information, as I'm tucking this towel in here, I'm using this little screwdriver blade rather than my fingers, because these things are really sharp and you'll slice your knuckles up pretty good if you don't protect them from going under. But it's getting under there. I'm just kind of tucking it like so to get it tucked under there to absorb all that water. Okay, brief update. I've got the towels put in place, and down here I took a paper towel and I wrapped it up in some cellophane saran wrap, and I poked it down in that hole. Again, I'm trying to plug it so that it doesn't leak all of that water down into the evaporator pan, if you will, at the bottom. So like I said, I'm wanting to capture all this water. I'm going to put this towel up underneath here to kind of catch the water as it comes down, and then I'm trying not to bend any of these radiator fan fins as I'm doing this project. So here we go. I'm also going to concentrate some of the heat up underneath here where you can see the water starting to come out. Obviously keep taking care not to melt the plastic with any of the heat. It's not coming out super hot either, but you got to get rid of that ice that's all packed up in there inside the fan housing. If I wanted to, I could actually take that fan housing off with those screws that you see right there. I haven't had to do that yet, and I'll just see how it's spinning. But already the fan is spinning freely. We just want to make sure all that ice gets out of there. Again, debating whether or not I should get back up in here, but if you look down inside this little area here, you can feel the ice. It's literally, there's a little chunk of it. It's not a bad chunk, and I'm trying to break it free right now, but I don't think it's worth taking this housing off. It'll be done. And if you look there, you can kind of see my finger coming up underneath there. That's where the ice, yep, I just broke it loose right there, so you can see it. Not a huge chunk of ice, and that's all that's left inside there. So once that's melted, it looks like this housing is pretty free. As you can see, the fan is spinning very freely now once I got that ice cleared out. Alrighty, about 10 minutes into the actual thawing, and I've got a good ice melt so far under here. I got all the ice out of the fan housing and it came out the bottom, so that's all done. So now I'm just kind of going in and taking my time, listening to the podcast, defrosting the fridge. That's the update for the moment. Alright, we got all of the ice gone. Now I'm just going to leave this here to evaporate all the water that's just kind of, if you look in there, you can see the water just kind of lingering in there, just all those little drips and whatnot. So I'm just going to dry it out, and we're all good on the fan is spinning beautifully. And then this same little hole down here, you can see there's my finger, and underneath, no ice blockage, which is really good. So we're getting there, almost there. All right, we may be nearing the end here. I'm going to turn this off for just a minute. Have to set it up right. Let it cool off. Then, looks like I've got, oh, here we go. Look at the size of that thing. Jeez. Anyway, that part is done. Putting it in the sink. Coming back over. Alright, so there's just a little bit of ice left here. I'm going to continue just kind of drying this stuff out and making sure that what's in here is not going to cause trouble. There's this little piece here. So, almost there. Oh yeah, and look at that. Somehow nicked my finger. We're going about 10 minutes later. As you can see, got most of the ice off of that part, and I'm just kind of trying to get it melted from off of this little area. Thought about going in with maybe a little screwdriver, but I decided to just let the hot air do its thing, and we're almost there. Better to take 5 minutes or 10 minutes more here than risk damaging permanently something that I can't repair. About another 7 minutes later, it looks like this piece is actually starting to, oh, there we go. Got a big chunk of it off there, so that's good. And this piece, okay, we're making progress, so just gotta keep going, not taking too long. Alrighty, the rest of it's just putting it all back together. Got it all, the back panel reinstalled, everything's up and running properly. I have installed the right side tray and then the left side tray. Again, it's going here. It just clips in the back over here. And you can see the post mounts and then the holes and the screws. And that's really it. It was really only less than 10 screws to get the whole thing apart. So pretty easy fix and we're good to go.